Good. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to the Journey Podcast. I got my guy Nick Barrotta here.
My guy.
Thank you for coming on.
Made it. Appreciate you having me.
Yeah, I know we've been talking about this for a little while, but I'm glad we finally got it done.
Yes, sir.
And what is this? This is episode 8. So yeah, we're
I'll
getting
take
it going.
8. I'll take 8. Some Kobe vibes.
Yep.
I'll take it.
Exactly. It's a nice number to be.
Yep.
Little intro. I wanted to talk to you about. I don't know if you remember. This was, I want to say 2014, 2015.
What's that?
Got an Instagram direct message, and you sent me a long paragraph. And it was, I don't know you, never met you, but, I see you grinding, and I see a lot of myself in you, when you had your hoop dreams, and, when you were saying how you felt you could have worked harder, you could have gotten in the weight room more. And, that stuck with me a lot because, sometimes kids need that. Sometimes kids need that, support from the outside, because everyone, your friends support you, your family supports you, but when someone else sees that what you're doing, sometimes it carries with you.
100%. I mean, and listen, that's why I'm so excited to be here today, because I do see a lot of myself in you, and we were just joking, before we jumped on here, but about even you having this, your light years, ahead of where I was when I started out. But yeah, man, I respect the grind. I appreciate your hustle, and I still tell you that every time I see you running around.
Right.
So,
yeah.
I always show love when I'm supposed to.
Absolutely.
I don't have to, but I make sure I do, because I know it it means a lot to a lot of people, and I appreciate that you remember that, man. That means a lot.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I remember I think I wrote you again 2 or 3 years later when I was going into my freshman year of college, and I went back and read that message, and I was like, you know what I mean, like maybe let me put in some extra hours, let me do this stuff.
I love
that.
I mean?
Let me do it the right way. So.
I love that. Well, look, I mean, everything, looking back for me, I mean, I know you play ball, so that's kind of where I was, talking about specifically as far as, grind the basketball world. But I mean, listen, what I was saying, that goes into all aspects of life, put that extra time in, hustle, make sure, you don't listen to any outside noise. And I think I said, enjoy it
You
and
did.
have fun.
Absolutely.
Because that's the key, man, is just as long as you're having fun and you're enjoying this whole thing. And I still tell you now, when I see you run around, just, you got to embrace the chase, man. This is the fun part, So yeah, we were talking about hoops then, but the message still stays the same. It's,
it applies to everything.
Exactly.
In your life.
So still just put that extra time in, work hard, around the clock, set those goals, and have fun with it, man.
Yeah, no, I appreciate that.
Yeah,
But,
that's facts.
Yeah,
It's facts.
But let's jump into it.
Cool.
So talk about growing up, and what was your goals and dreams, as a kid, and your visions, and how have they changed to now?
Well, listen, we're talking about basketball. I'll say right off the bat, I wanted to be, in the league. I know a bunch of us, that's always, we wanted to end up in the NBA. I can't tell you how many hours I put in watching film of Michael Jordan and all the OGs, and just hoping I'd make it to the league one day. I think it was probably till like 7th or 8th grade. I mean, I was probably people probably laughing at me because I thought I was going to the league up until I got into high school. I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to, get there. But, aside from the basketball dreams, which they still got a place in the heart. But, the entertainment industry has just been always my passion. I've been so passionate about acting. I've been so passionate about hosting, and just the industry as a whole. I say this a lot to people I talk to these days about when I was young. I would, talk to my brothers as if they were Michael Jordans or Derek Jeters or big time athletes or celebrities, and do these interviews with them. So I always saw myself, being in the industry, kind of attacking that hosting angle.
Right.
But yeah, the entertainment industry as a whole was always a passion for me, and always the goal. Sports and pop culture.
Yeah.
So that was always a dream.
Yeah. No, that's awesome.
I actually have a book. I don't want to cut you off, but I'll tell you this too.
Okay.
I have a book report that I still have, that's on my desk at home, and I guess in third grade, my teacher had sent the class home and said, tell us what you want to be when you grow up. Go home and do some research and put a book report together and tell us, what do you want to be when you get older? Everyone came in the next day. They wanted to be a veterinarian or a firefighter. And I remember I went home and I cut out a bunch of pictures out of the magazines, Will Smith, Denzel Washington, Brad Pitt, all these, big time actors at the time. I said I wanted to be an actor. And it's funny looking back at that now, it means a lot because that's always been a part of me. I mean, third grade, like really, what did I know? And I wasn't thinking about money or any sort of recognition. Then it was just about being on TV and entertaining people, making people laugh, and that's still that's still what it is for me. So it's funny. I look at that every now and again as a reminder. But yeah, it's always been a part of me, man. Just the whole industry, for sure.
Yeah, and it's kind of crazy. You were born in L.A., right?
I was.
You were born in L.A., so it's like it's funny how the universe works.
Yeah, I got a little West Coast blood in me.
Yeah.
I rep the West Coast blood in me for sure. I wasn't there long. My brothers and I, I got 3 brothers, so Jake and Zach. So 3 of us were born out in L.A. And we weren't out there long, but like I said, I say L.A. made me, New York raised me.
Yeah,
that's
cool.
Gotta rep it.
That's the 2 places to be.
Oh man,
in that industry.
Absolutely. So I gotta rep the West Side.
Right. Where'd you go to college, and what were the steps you took to obviously chase this dream?
Man, so thinking back, I'm getting anxiety already, just because those early college years, especially, I was really lost. I had no idea where. I knew I wanted to go. I didn't know how to get there. I didn't know what the next steps were. My high school experience was great, and to be honest with you, I had a tough time transitioning from high school to college, and just those next phases of life.
Okay.
So those early couple of years for me were rough. I mean, I didn't know exactly the moves to make, but I didn't give up. And I ended up at Hofstra University. So I bounced around a little bit, and I'll just skip some of those early years because we don't have enough time for everything that went down then.
Right.
But I ended up at Hofstra, and I'm so happy I did. I was a broadcast journalism major there. Their communications program is amazing, and being so close to Manhattan, I was able to take full advantage of everything that the city had to offer. So even as a student, I would go into the city after class, and I would hang outside, the Good Morning America, or I would go in at night and I would, wait for a party to let out to see who I can bump into. I would even go to hotels I had no business in being at, sitting in the lobby, just kind of rubbing shoulders and elbows with whoever I could, just to kind of network and build a brand in a sense. But Hofstra was great, and I was a broadcast journalism major there. I had a ton of fun, and I really made those last couple of years count.
Yeah.
So it was big. Shout out to Hofstra. Yeah,
that's obviously
for sure.
what it takes.
Yep. I actually went into, funny story, I went into the dean's office at the time, and I said, look, I want to be the next Ryan Seacrest. And
I was gonna say that. I was talking to Nick earlier. I was gonna say, I always heard you said you wanted to be the next Ryan Seacrest.
Yeah, and it's funny, things have changed a bit, but listen, that's a dream for me to be that type of personality, if you will. But the dean laughed at me at a little bit at the time, but he knew I was serious about it, and he put me in a position to succeed, man. He knew, he respected that I went in there and said that, and although it was kind of like caught him off guard a little bit, he was like, all right, this kid means business, and he put me in position to succeed. So shout out Mark Oppenheim, who I'm still close with today, but he always had my back, man, and again, Hofstra, it was a great place for me, and I'm happy I ended up there.
Yeah, no, that's good, and I feel like you always need those people.
Oh yeah.
That are above 100%. You.
Yeah,
and they're gonna lead you in the right direction.
Yeah.
Like how big was networking? Because I know
Everything.
Me and you spoke about that, and you were just telling me how big was networking.
Everything.
It's everything, right?
Everything. Look, I was never good on paper. I was never great in these classes, and but I was always good at meeting people, putting myself out there and shaking hands, and building relationships. And that's everything, always. I mean, but in this industry, and when I say this industry, I mean, Hollywood. I mean, the entertainment industry, right? It's all about who you know. It is. So I always knew that, and I knew that I had to apply those skills that at least I knew I was decent at.
Right.
Shaking hands, meeting people, holding conversation, engaging in conversation, learning. Like, you can't be stubborn either. You got to be willing to take a step back and absorb from people, learn from people, ask questions. You can't ever be too cool for, you know, you got to put yourself out there and really, be that sponge, right? And just absorb everywhere you go. So networking is everything. Still to this day, I mean, that's it. I'll never stop. You never should stop, you know, because it's about those relationships and those handshakes that will put you in, you know, look, even just the dean I mentioned, if I didn't go in there and tell him what I wanted to do, and, you know, he wouldn't even knew I exist. Right. I mean, listen, so you got to put yourself out there, shake hands, meet people. It's everything. Networking, man.
Yeah, I think
101.
Yeah, seriously.
Yeah.
And that's what I do, you know, every day with, I did it with basketball, trying to meet the right people, you know, for recruitment or, you know, helping my friends out with schools and everything. So, you know, obviously I'm trying to apply all the networking I did in the basketball world.
We can talk about hoops and we can talk about, you know, TV and then, but a lot of this stuff I'm talking about is for every day, you know, period. Doesn't matter what career you're in or what your goals are. I mean, when it comes to networking, when it comes to just the grind, the hustle mode, the mentality that you and I speak a lot about, like, you got to apply that to every day, no matter what you're doing. Yeah. You know?
100%.
So, yeah, I mean, but it did help, man, in this game, because I'll tell you, I wouldn't be nowhere near where I'm at right now if it wasn't for the people that helped, you know, helped put me there and who I had in my corner. So, for sure.
Yeah. Next thing I wanted to talk about, this kind of goes with the networking and you getting your foot in the door. Talk about Nicky B TV.
Yeah.
And, you know, so who,
see,
some
look,
of the
he
people...
did his homework, this guy, see? You're doing your thing, man. I appreciate that. I respect that. Nicky B TV, man, like, it's funny. Some people, my friends still call me that. You know, I just changed my Instagram handle from Nicky B TV to Nick Barrotta probably only about a year or two ago, if that. But I figured it was time to, like, get a little bit more professional.
Okay.
But Nicky B TV was kind of like my stage name, if you will. And I created a blog at Hofstra while I was at school there. And I was doing what you're doing right now, man. Just interviews and going out to events and doing this event coverage and having fun, you know. And it was cool because between these interviews, and I landed some big names. I mean, I was interviewing Tobias. I was interviewing a couple other guys in the league, Evan Turner, and a lot of the relationships I had through the basketball world. And, you know, you build that credibility there. But yeah, man, I had fun with it. And sometimes I wish I kept it going, you know, and I may bring it back around sooner or later, but I had fun with Nicky B TV, and it really helped kind of create that foundation for me, because when I went into meetings or I went into different events and people would look me up and they could see, oh, you know, he interviewed so and so, or he was how do you get there? It was all Nicky B TV, man. That's it. Yeah. And it's funny, again, I still kind of rep that, but that started while I was at Hofstra.
Okay.
So it was a good segue, because Hofstra it was in that kind of ballpark there when that Nicky B TV thing came to full force. But yeah, man.
Yeah, so that got you got your foot in the door and got you started. What was the next step after that? So, like, I know, divorce court, right? Was that your first?
So, I mean, well, a lot happened between Nicky B TV and divorce court.
Okay, yeah, so touch on that.
I mean, look, there were so many ups and downs. It was such a roller coaster, you know, and it's always going to be in this industry, because, you know, you could hit a high and you're feeling good. You call your mom up, I made it. And then you just come crashing down, because then you go kind of quiet for a minute. You don't know what the next move is. So I had a lot of that. You know, I had a couple gigs, freelance gigs. I worked a bit with Entertainment Tonight. I worked a bit with The Wrap, which is a media outlet in LA that they had me host a special series in New York called Drinking with the Stars, which was a ton of fun. I got to interview like Laz Alonso and Terrence Jenkins, a couple guys for the special series. But, you know, I was just kind of picking up pieces of the puzzle as they came, and, you know, kind of just seeing where they fit. A couple modeling gigs here and there. You know, I was just trying to stay as busy as possible, and networking every day. And because I did that, I guess, when was this? I guess close to 3 years ago now, divorce court came to play. Because of a relationship I created at Entertainment Tonight. The divorce court gig came to him, and he thought of me, because I would ping this guy every other day, every couple, whatever it was, making sure he knew, like, listen, think of me whenever you hear something I'd be interested in. Hit me up, let me know what's going on. And out in LA, I'll come out to this event. Oh, you can get in here, let me know if I can get, because it's all about that. So he thought of me, and I'm so happy he did, because Divorce Court came along, and that's when things shifted for me.
Yeah, that's when it took off.
Yeah, that's when things kind of shifted for me, because that created a platform, a serious, platform where people could look at and be like, yo, this guy's on TV every day.
Yeah.
And now look, that's not the most glamorous gig. Divorce Court was, am I allowed to curse on this thing?
Absolutely.
A complete shit show. and no disrespect to Judge Lynn Toller, because she's actually one of the most brilliant people I've ever met. But Divorce Court and some of the people that came through that show were batshit crazy. And listen, it made my job fun, but it was not the most glamorous gig by any stretch, and we had fun with it, and it was the platform that I loved, because being on TV every day, working at Tyler Perry Studios, being able to learn from Judge Lynn, it was just an amazing opportunity, and I went full force with it, and made sure I took full advantage of it.
Yeah.
So yeah, crazy times at Divorce Court, but we made it work, man.
Yeah, I saw a bunch of videos. I remember you would post on Instagram and stuff like that, and didn't even Wendy Williams give you a shout out, right?
Well, that's the thing. It's funny because when you think of court shows like Judge Judy and some of these other shows that are on TV and court TV just as a whole, you picture this judge in the gown with the bailiff there in the security kind of suit, and a courtroom even, right? Yeah. When they brought me to do Divorce Court down in Atlanta, they had completely changed the whole look of the show. So they had me in like the slim fit kind of, the suit. Even Judge Lynn was in like a black dress, and we kind of added a little bit of a new school flavor to it. So it made some noise, and even Wendy Williams, one of many different personalities and hosts, and caught wind of what we were doing, and they were like, "This is kind of funny." Yeah. And I think it was Wendy Williams who actually called me the Baeliff.
Baeliff, B-A-E.
Yeah, exactly. So I was like, I didn't know if I'm supposed to rep that, and I'm thinking to myself, nah, I'm gonna rep that. Let's have fun with it. So I just ran with it, and then before you know it, it was funny because that was kind of my stage name down in Atlanta on Divorce Court, because I was kind of just her little Baeliff sidekick, which was fun, man. We had a blast.
Yeah,
it was a lot of fun, and Judge Lynn Toller, man, shout out Judge Lynn Toller, because she really took me under her wing and made sure I stayed on track there. And again, I'll say this throughout our whole conversation today, it's the relationships, and being open, right, and willing to learn. And she's somebody, again, who helped, put me in a position to succeed and help put me in the position for the next thing. So yeah, man, she's one of the many people that I got to shout out, because they don't have to do these things, but they see it's like I see in you too. And I don't want to say I'm like Judge Lynn. She's OG, but when you see people that are hustling and grinding, putting the time in, you want to help, and you want to be there for them and help guide them and show them what's out there and make sure they stay on track. And that's kind of the whole purpose in me reaching out to you back in the day, before any of this. Yeah. Like, I didn't even this was years before Divorce Court or anything, but it's just, look, a few years older than you, kind of Long Island kid. I'm like, man, like, keep grinding, bro.
Yeah.
Respect. So.
Yeah, no, and like what you were saying before, how you were just persistent with everything.
Yeah.
And just, not taking no for an answer.
Never. And I got a lot of no's, trust me.
Yeah, exactly.
But you don't accept it.
No.
You feel it sucks, and it'll hit you, and some of them are harder to take than others, but you don't ever let that sit for too long, because. You gotta, you can't give up, and you gotta keep pushing, bro. So, can't take no for an answer.
And I'm sure all these, like you said, Judge Lynn and all these people, they see it in you. They see it in you, and people like that, like, they're willing to take a chance on you because they know, you know what I mean? Like, this could be something. Yeah, good.
More or less, but also because there's enough people that I put, that I got to know over the years that could vouch for me.
Absolutely.
Right. So it's like they didn't just see me and say, all right, let me try this guy out. No, they're gonna see me and say, all right, let me do some research on him. But guess what? Because of the years that I put in before Divorce Court, there were enough people in the industry and enough people that could vouch for me. you know, and that I could say, yo, you mind, sending a little note for me, or having, maybe hint to put a little star next to my name, because you create. I'll say this to you. I did a podcast, actually, probably. I mean, this was already a few years back. This whole pandemic thing is screwing me up. I don't even know what day it is, what year it is. But he said something which stuck with me. Like, today we live in a microwavable culture, right? Everybody wants to use the microwave and they want quick results. You got to use the oven. You want to use the oven, put some time in there, make sure you slow cook it, right? And now that's been my game for a long time. People think things just kind of clicked overnight, but no, I mean, it looks that way because they didn't see that shit baking or cooking for all those years. Yeah. And then I pull it out and that shit was good. Yeah. You know what I mean?
I like that.
So yeah, there was a lot of the no's and a lot of the struggles that kind of I had to deal with until I started seeing some light at the end of the tunnel. Yeah. And I'm still getting those, right? I'm still hitting those lows I talked about, but it's about withstanding the storm and I got some other shit now in the oven. So we're going to keep building. That's all. Can't give up and keep pushing. Am I talking too much?
No.
Sometimes I just start going, man. You could cut me off whenever you need
that's
to.
why you're here.
Yeah,
it's
man.
a podcast.
I said, somebody wants to talk to me? Let's talk. Let's go.
So to jump into the next thing, talk about your relationship with Tyler Perry. Yeah. And that encounter. Mm-hmm. And I kind of overheard your story one time. I believe you was talking about it. And I want to know personally, like, talk about that. Yeah. Tyler Perry and how everything happened.
Talk about a game changer. Yeah. I mean, this is when I thought divorce court was like, all right, like, we turn that corner now. I thought I was gonna be there for a minute and get back to the oven and really but no, man. I was so excited to do divorce court because we filmed at Tyler Perry Studios, and being there, I was thinking to myself, man, I'm gonna meet Tyler Perry one day. And I remember when he came around the corner one day while we were shooting divorce court, and I was like, this is my shot. What's funny is everybody kind of ran to meet him one way, right? They all went this way. I was like, no, I'm gonna go this way. And I went around the back, I remember, and we met there briefly for a minute, and the rest was history. I was actually just talking to him last night, and he sent me the picture of him and I that we took. I'll send it to you. I'm sure you've seen it. I brag about this pic all the time because I really believe that day changed my life when I first met Tyler Perry. But yeah, man, I mean, he's been such a mentor to me, and we've done so much in the short time that I've known him. It feels like I've known the guy 20 years. Right. And I truly believe I got that gig on divorce court to meet him.
Yeah,
everything happens for a reason. It's a universe, man. And I believe that's why I got divorce court and why I met Judge Lintola, and it led me to him, man. So, I mean, I can't speak highly enough about him. The guy's got enough money to just say F you to everybody, but he's the most genuine, down-to-earth dude. All he wants to do is help others. All he wants to do is kind of bridge the gap between, people and their dreams. It's exactly what he's doing for me. I don't know if you're up to speed with some of these award shows, but he's been getting a lot of recognition. He just won an Emmy. He got the Governor's Award there. Even I think it was last night, a couple nights ago, he was People's Champ at the People's Choice Awards. Because people now, I don't know why it took so long, but are showing him serious love because he's created now at his studio down in Atlanta. I mean, it's a 330-acre studio. Think about that. You could fit every major Hollywood studio on his lot down in Atlanta. Really? So he's creating Tyler Perry land down there. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh yeah, no, it's insane. But even with that, he's just such a down to earth dude that, and when you meet him, you literally feel like you won the lottery. It's crazy. Wow. So I could sit here and we could talk for till the sunrise about Tyler Perry because. To be able to call him a friend right now and a mentor and a boss and be able to work with him, it's been, unbelievable.
Yeah, I couldn't imagine.
Oh, unbelievable.
It's a big time connection.
Yeah, man. And it's crazy because the Oval, which will come back, I believe, top of the year, I went from 7 episodes, season 1 to 18 for season 2, which we just wrapped up. Really? So I guess I'm doing something right, which I'm happy about because I was nervous as hell going in there to work with him for the first time. So the fact that I'm able to kind of grow my character on the show is heading in a better direction, man. We're going to have fun with it, and I just hope I can keep building off of that character and be able to work with him for, I mean, forever.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It's just the start.
I hope so.
Just the start.
I hope so. Yeah, man. He's a real deal.
Yeah.
Real deal.
Absolutely. Welcome back. So we were just talking about Tyler Perry, and I want to touch on how did you get on the Oval, and when did he ask you, or how did that come about?
Yeah, well, this is another crazy story, man. So I'll kind of give you the quicker Spark Notes version here, because again, I could talk about this for a long time, but. One night in New York, I was invited to one of the Medea premieres. So the last one was, I think, the family funeral or whatever it was. I mean, that's so fun. I don't know if you've ever seen those movies. It's crazy. But I ended up going to this premiere in New York, and he literally came right up to me and was like, "Man, what's up?" Because we had met now once or twice prior, but he comes up to me and he goes, "Tell me about your dreams." I mean, think about that, right? So like, first of all, we're at an event. I mean, everyone's taking pictures of this guy. Everyone's waiting to meet this guy. He comes right up to me and says, "Tell me about your dreams. What do you want? What are your goals?" And I was kind of like, "Oh shit!" I was like, I didn't even expect that right off the bat. But I told him, I said, "Look, I want to act. I want to learn from you." I think I even asked him to get coffee. I was like, "What are you doing tomorrow, man? You want to get some coffee?" Like thinking, yeah, no problem. Like he doesn't have shit to do.
Yeah.
So that was really it. It was that quick and simple.
Really?
And I guess a couple weeks later, I got a call about them casting for the Oval, and he flew me down to audition for this role, and yeah, we've been riding that train ever since. But that just is again another kind of example of the guy he is, because in the middle of all this chaos, he took the time to say hi and kind of learn about my goals and my dreams, and that's exactly what he does. It's just another example of him. He's just a light. And I say this about him all the time, but he shines so bright that others can kind of see where they're going. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. That's a word right there.
Yeah, no, I like
all right.
That one.
He shines so bright, this guy, and we all talk about this. A lot of my castmates, people that know him, and everybody will agree with me. This guy shines so bright, so others can see where they're going, and it's crazy. And he's opened up my eyes to a lot, and I can't say again enough about this guy, but that's how the Oval came into play, and like I said, we did 2 seasons already. Yeah. So we're waiting on go back for season 3.
How was that? You guys were shooting during COVID, right?
So the first season we when shit was normal.
Okay.
All right. And we didn't know if we were going to be able to film season 2, but he was one of the first studios to open back up. And it was crazy, because we were like, it was almost like we were aliens, what it felt like flying into the studio, the way they treated us.
Really?
We were tested every other day. We all had, we had a quarantine at the studio. We actually lived on the studio grounds. It almost felt like we were, at like sleepaway camp or something. But yeah, it was amazing. We probably did what he shoots fast. He shoots fast to begin with, but we finished ahead of schedule. And we probably did what normally would take months in 3 weeks, not even.
Really?
So we were like working, but it almost felt like some sort of sleepaway boot camp, But yeah, it was a crazy experience. Just the fact that we were able to work and be fortunate enough to work during this time is great, because obviously everything was shut down, and we didn't know if we were going to be able to get it done. So he took care of us, and we were able to work. So. Season 2 coming, I'll be sure to give you those details, man. But I think January, February, we're airing again. So I'm excited.
How hard was it? Well, was it hard acting, or being like the bailiff on, like, what was the? Was there any correlation?
No, listen, there a huge difference. If we're going to talk about divorce court, that was just fun, and I was being me. It was great, Acting was a whole other animal. I've done a couple of gigs here and there, a commercial, and I've done some little small parts, but this was the first time I got like scripts like this, where I was like I had to really dive in and learn these lines and kind of learn this character, right? I never played anybody else before. Yeah. Whether it was hosting, it was always me. These quick gigs were great, but you never locked into the seriousness of a character. And this shows that it's a drama. It's like a soap opera, if you will. So it's serious too. It's not even like I can kind of like play off of like my personality. This is like we're in the White House and it's like some serious shit where I'm like, damn, like it was discouraging at first. I'm like, I don't know if this is for me, but I'm having so much fun with it. So to answer your question, acting is definitely harder, but it's much more rewarding. And I'm more serious about it now than I've ever been. And I would love to continue to act, man, and just do TV and film. It's the best, man. It's the best. Listen, hosting and, even doing this kind of stuff, man, just engaging in good conversation and the interviews and the red carpet, the chaos that comes on, the red carpet coverage and whatnot is a blast. And I hope that I can get back to that. The beauty in today, though, is everything kind of mixes a little bit.
Yeah.
But I would love to keep acting as the focus for as long as I can.
So that's your
main
goal.
Yeah, for sure.
Awesome.
Yeah.
You brought up red carpet, and that was another thing I wanted to speak about. Saw you met Will Smith on the red carpet, and that he's my favorite actor. He's always been my favorite actor. Man. And how was that, and what was that conversation like?
Man, it's funny because.
Yeah, what was your emotions during that time?
I was damn near crying. Like when I first of all, I didn't even know he was gonna. Actually, that's a lie. I didn't know he was gonna be there because this was at Tyler Perry. This was at the studio opening, like the official opening.
Okay.
Everybody was there. Like Denzel Washington, Oprah. You made a left, it was Diddy. You made a right, you bumped into freaking Bill Clinton. Like you didn't know who you were gonna see at this thing. It was insane. Hands down, the coolest event I've ever been to. The most inspiring night I've ever had was being at this studio opening. You felt like you died and went to heaven. Literally, like the doors open like this to this red carpet that you see. That's where you saw Will and I. But you see this red carpet, these doors open up. Jennifer Hudson's just standing there singing. This choir, this is up in like the clouds, bro. And I'm like, damn, what the fuck is happening right now? I had no idea what was going on. I'm just like, I'm here. I got invited to be here. So I'm like, shit, I must be doing something right.
Yeah. On there.
Man, but so I met a lot of people that night, but I was definitely most excited to meet Will Smith. He's been Fresh Prince. Just his whole portfolio, man, is just my favorite. So I couldn't wait to meet him, but I was nervous because I was like, I hope he doesn't disappoint me. Like going up to him, I was like, shit, what if he's a dick?
Yeah, they say that about a lot of people.
Yeah, listen, I've been lucky because people ask me that a lot too. Like who's the nicest guy you've met, and who's been the biggest asshole. I haven't really had any weird encounters, man. Most of my celebrity interactions have been positive and genuine, which I'm happy about. And his was too, which I was thrilled because again, I was nervous walking up to him, but he was like, gave me a big hug, man. We were chopping it up for a minute, told him how much I look up to him. I still got his posters hanging up in my parents' the bedroom back home. So it was great, man. And I'll remember that forever because there's a picture too, which I don't know if you've seen, but it's a picture of Will Smith right up close and personal. But I'm right behind him, and it looks like I'm literally following him in his footsteps.
Really?
And it's like a powerful ass picture that Tyler Perry actually sent to me, which even meant more. So I was like, this is definitely gonna be one I'm gonna frame. But that night was special, and meeting him was one of the best moments, in my career, man.
Yeah.
Just hands down.
That's
and
crazy.
He was just extremely nice. I
could imagine
that same laugh, that same laugh, like just a down to earth dude, man. So thankfully, because I was able to say, he's still my idol after that.
Yeah. Yeah, if there's one person in the industry that, if you had to bet all your money on that, I think Will Smith would be that guy.
Yeah.
He's pretty genuine.
Yeah. Listen, a lot of people though, they put on this front for the cameras and stuff.
Yeah, you never know.
No, he's a real one for sure.
That's cool.
Yeah.
So who is like you said before, you never know what you're gonna get. Who's your favorite person you've worked with, or someone that you've learned the most from, other than Tyler Perry?
Yeah, I was gonna say. Let's Tyler Perry.
Yeah, Tyler Perry.
Pretty much the answer to everything for me because he's just that's how. How much he means to me at this point and what he's done for me is just insane. But it's a good question, man. So who's done the most for me? Is that what you said? What was it?
Like who was your favorite person to work with and, that you felt like a connection with?
Yeah.
In this industry, because I know you've met a lot of people, and it could be anything,
yeah.
because you've interviewed with
Well, that's
Nicky
what I was going to say. I've worked with some amazing people, and now even acting, just getting to know other actors that are in my kind of position, whether they're, you know, new faces on the scene or some actors that you may not have heard of, but are just been in the game a long time that I've been able to learn from. I mean, I've had such an amazing experience with really everybody in all areas of my career. So, you know, there's a long list for sure, but I will say a couple of guys I've interviewed that I remember early on that meant a lot to me and that were very genuine and I would definitely put there in, you know, as favorite moments would be John Legend was awesome. I got to interview him and he was such a cool dude. Victor Cruz. This is a funny story too.
So he was with him.
I was just with him the other night, and it's funny. We had this conversation because he was in the league. He got in the league. His first year was kind of around the same time I was starting to run around doing these interviews, and I got to dig this up. I told him I would, but you know, we kind of clicked off the bat because I think, again, he saw like I was kind of a young gun running around and he was just making noise in the league. Yeah. But I remember I left this event after I spoke to him and I'm like, man, like it was just kind of inspiring. And I just was with him this past weekend. It was the first time I saw him in a long time and we were talking about it, you know. And those are when you connect the dots like that, that's what really means a lot, you know. So I've had a lot of those moments that you kind of sit back and say, man, like you come full circle. And John Legend was definitely up there, and Victor Cruz I always talk highly about. But I met a lot of people, man. It's tough to narrow down, but
I mean,
there's a bunch.
Pretty good too.
Yeah. I mean, like Taraji P. Henson, I got to meet. She was unbelievable. You know, even I'll speak highly about the Kardashians. Like I've been able to interview Khloe Kardashian, and I met a lot of that. You know, Kris Jenner, I did an event with a couple of months back, and you know, people talk crazy about. I'm the first one who wants to go back and prove people wrong. You know, and you know, even meeting them was amazing.
Yeah.
And so it's been good, man. I don't think I'm answering your question, but I'm throwing a lot of names out there that just were memorable.
Yeah,
you know.
No, yeah, exactly. Because obviously, I want to get
because you took Tyler Perry out of the equation. You know what I mean?
Because I mean, obviously, I want to get to that point where it's like, you know, I'm having, you know, all these people on my show as well. So that's you know, dealing with those type of people. Were you starstruck at all?
Early on, I was.
Yeah.
Early on, I was. 100%. I mean, one of my first interviews was with Wilmer Valderrama.
Okay.
I don't know if you know him, but he's from that '70s show. You
yes.
definitely recognize. Yeah. I remember I was like, this was one of my first interviews. I think it was my first interview early on when I had that flip phone. You know, I think my little brother came to like film for me. Like I was wearing like zero swag. And I didn't know what the hell I was doing. Shaking. I remember I had like notes. I'm freaking out. But you kind of realize that, listen, first of all, these are all regular people, man, you know, and it was probably one or two interviews later where I was like, all right, like I'm good, man.
Got it.
You know, you kind of brush it off. You got to break through. You got to break the ice a little bit and get some experience. But yeah, man, it didn't take long till I was just myself, because that's what people want to see.
Right.
People want to feel that. If you're nervous and kind of crazy going into something, man, that's you can feel that energy. So I had to shake it off, and it didn't take long for me to adjust. But nerves, that's normal.
That means you care.
It means you care. You know, you want first and early on. You know, you want to create an impression with some people, not even just with the talent, but people setting up the interviews, right? The publicists, the managers. You know, you want to make sure you get invited back to the next event. You know, so it was just more about. It wasn't necessarily being nervous about the celebrity. Listen, there's been some names that I was definitely like, holy shit, you know. But it was more the nerves really came from, you know, making sure I had a good first impression, and I, you know, made sure people felt comfortable, and I wanted to get that invite back. Yeah. So that's where more of the nerves came from.
Okay.
But
yeah, and you know, kind of coming to a close. Where do you see yourself in like in 5 years from now, and like what's your vision and your goals? And, you know, where do you want to be? Like, do you want to be a movie star? Is it? Yeah, you know?
You know, it's crazy. And, like, I would probably, if you asked me that a few years back, I'd probably feel weird. I would have felt weird about saying it, you know? Because to say you want to be a movie star sounds like it's impossible. But I'm actually sitting here telling you that, like, it's not.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I don't know if you've seen. I think it was Matthew McConaughey who accepted an award. I forgot what movie it was for, but I don't know if you've seen the acceptance speech. But it's kind of about always keep chasing something, and that person he was always chasing was him years down the road. And that stuck with me too, because I feel like, again, if you were to ask me a few years back if I'd be on a show with Tyler Perry, I would have been like, I don't know, but if I get there, then oh my God, like whoa.
Right.
But I'm here now, right? So you want the next thing. You want to keep chipping away and continue to rise and build and elevate. So yeah, man, I want to keep pushing in this TV and film, TV and film world, and I want to continue to act, and I want to continue to learn and network and do all the things you're supposed to do daily, because that's the only thing. That's what you need to do. But yeah, man, in 5 years, I'd love to be working on multiple projects. I'd love to be season regular on multiple shows. I'd love to, be in a movie and become more of a known name in the industry. And my goal is to just create a platform where I can give back, kind of like Tyler Perry is.
Right.
Help the next person, help whoever I can in the game, because I'm at a point where I could do that.
Yeah.
So that's the goal, man. 5 years. Let's do it. Let's get to work.
Yeah, because I talk about that so much with my boys and stuff like that, and everyone I have on this episode. If someone were to tell you, a graduate from Hofstra, you'd be where you are today. Some people say, yeah, I knew I was going to be here, but a lot of the times, you have no idea what a year can do for your life.
Crazy.
And
I mean, look, I'm a prime example. I mean, like, the last year or two have completely changed my life and the blueprint of what's to come. And it's because I didn't give up. It's because I didn't take no for an answer. It's because I continue to put myself out there and meet people. But man, there's a quote I like: don't give up, because tomorrow might be the day you win. You know what I mean?
Right. It's like that picture. You ever seen it's like the mine
when
they're digging and the one guy quits and he's one strike away from,
and the other guy's one guy's walking back, and then the other guy hits it. Tyler Perry actually alluded to that kind of photo last night, referring to somebody he hired to hit the water on one of his properties, and he was going to quit, but he didn't, and he was 4 inches away.
Really?
But days went by, and he didn't give up, because you never know when you're gonna break through. So yeah, man, you can't give up. You might win tomorrow. You might not, but you don't know when your tomorrow is. Yeah. So that's it, man. Stay hungry, and just continue to be the best version of you, man. Yeah, and that's it.
You're a prime example of even like what you tweeted last night, like bet on yourself. Yeah. I saw that tweet, and it's just like, it's, you've probably heard it 100 times, but if you actually, think about the word, betting on yourself, like that's the best thing you can do.
That's it, man.
That's
it. And look, I'm talking to you now. People aren't going to understand your goals. They're not going to understand your vision, and that's okay.
They're not supposed to.
They're not supposed to. That just goes to show you're special. Yeah. So focus on you, man. Focus on your growth, and don't listen to the outside noise, man. You stay on your track, and bet on yourself, like I said, man, because that's all you can do at the end of the day.
Yeah, got to keep going.
Yeah.
And that's another quote I always talk about, Mike Stud, and that's like
Stud's your guy. I love that. Yeah.
He's like my favorite. He's my favorite podcast. I like him as an artist. And, that's his slogan, though. Keep going. Yeah. And his podcast called You Never Know.
You never know.
Because you never know where life is going to take you. And
I mean, look at him. The guy's probably trying to get to the majors and has an injury. I mean, he could have literally went home and cried and went to work some office gig, and he found another passion and
started rapping in his dorm.
Yeah, man. Like, that's the thing. Life will throw you curveballs, no pun intended. But you gotta adjust and adapt and listen, everybody got a sad story, but, and this sounds harsh, but you hear it. I know nobody cares. Yeah. Work harder. Yeah. That's it. So
seriously.
Everybody got a sad story, man. Let's just keep pushing, work hard, and bet on yourself. Yeah. That's it.
Before we do close, last thing I want to touch on. How serious is the TikToks? Are you gonna pursue it more?
Bro,
or is
I caved, man.
And I'm gonna put it in the
yeah,
episode.
I caved. Like I was one of those guys running around saying like I'm never gonna get on TikTok, man. That's not my thing. Like I was like clowning some of these kids like dancing. Like I'm like, it's not my thing. Bro, I can't stop. First of all, I'm on it like all day. Yes, it's hysterical. There's some crazy shit on there, man. But my grandma and I, man, we're having fun with it.
Yeah.
She's 93, my grandma, and she's dancing laps around me. So it's funny. Up until this pandemic hit, I mean, my grandma was probably going dancing every week. Like she's a dancer, my grandma.
Really?
Yeah. So I was like thinking to myself, like, this is like perfect for me and her to have some fun with. And you know, the first couple of videos I put out, man, like, kind of blew up on TikTok.
Yeah.
So you know, do I take it seriously? To answer your question, not really. But like, yeah, I'm trying to run with it, man, because it's a great platform. I mean, look, the reach there and like the ability for a video to go viral like overnight is insane. Like, so you know, and you should take advantage of every platform. I mean, now there's so much you can do, but yeah, TikTok's a fun game, man. It's like I'm still trying to get used to it. But yeah, we're gonna run with that for a little bit, you know. As long as my grandma, you know, she gotta get her cardio in somehow. So we're gonna keep dancing a little bit, me and grandma.
Yeah. No, yeah. For the people that don't know, what is your TikTok? What is it?
It's just my Nick Barrotta.
Nick
Barrotta,
Barrotta,
it's just my name. It's just my name on
out,
there. I only got a few videos on there, but we're gonna
viral though. Millions of views.
My friends get on me a little bit because like I should be doing more on there, you know. So I got to make a point to get a little bit more consistent on that thing because it's fun, man, and it's like you know, you build a little brand on that thing too.
Yeah, even before he came, he kept singing the song because he was watching the TikTok with your grandma before.
Which one? The Pop Smoke, man.
Pop Smoke one.
Yeah, she did better than me in that one. I'm like, damn. I'm like, she keeps outshining me. I'm nervous for the next video I'm gonna put out without her because they might be like, boo, like where's your grandma at? Like, I'm like, damn, like I don't know if I'm jeopardizing myself. You know? Like she's too funny, man. She's 93. She's crazy. She's amazing, man.
Yeah, we need more of those videos.
We gotta get her on this thing.
Yeah.
She got a hell of a journey. 93. You might need to do a two-part thing with grandma.
Part two.
Yeah. She got a hell of a story.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
But no, man, this was great, and this is exactly, you know, what I wanted from this episode, and to get you on here, and I wanted to say, like, obviously thank you, because a lot of guys, you know, especially in their hometown, you see a lot of guys that they don't show love back to their, you know, community or kids that, you know, like you said, like you see them grinding, you see them, you know, coming up similar ways they did, and like you said, you had so many people that helped you.
Yeah.
For you to like obviously help, and you know what I mean. Anyway, you know what I mean. Just coming on a podcast, it's the little things that go like such a long way.
Oh man.
And you know, I see it so much with guys that you know, they make it to a certain level, and you know, they kind of get a little Hollywood, or they don't want to answer and stuff like that. And you know, I never got that vibe from you.
No.
It's always genuine. You know what I mean? Like I even ran into you at Bagel Biz,
and
it was just like. You know, and that's what I feel like with the universe and stuff like that. It's just like I wanted to go to Bagel Biz that morning, ran into you again. You asked me about the podcast.
Yeah, man.
Then I started, you know, working at Shrimpies, doing deliveries. And now, you know, so it's just crazy how the world works, like you said, and you know, all these, you know, points match up and it comes full circle.
Definitely.
So yeah, no, I respect you for that because you always are genuine and. You know, show love back to, you know, the people that where you grew up in.
No, it means a lot, man. That's why I was so excited to come on this thing because I was sitting right there in your spot, you know, and it means everything to have an impact, even if it's the slightest bit, you know, on your journey, you know. But I appreciate you saying that, man. And yeah, you can't switch up, you know. Yeah. You can't switch up. You got to stay humble and you know, I'm a big believer in you know, manifestation. I'm a big believer in you know, doing good, man, and the good will come back to you. So
pay it forward,
man, and that's what I'm all about, man. So you know, no sweat, bro. I'm happy I'm here, man, and we got a lot more to look forward to, bro.
Yeah, no, definitely. I'd love to, you know, have you back on and whenever we could, you know, set it up again and
for sure.
Yeah. For my viewers, subscribers, everyone, we got the hoodies coming in this week, Friday. I got yours. Man. What you need, large, right?
Oh yeah, we need the hoodie for sure. Yeah, I'll take one of those. Large.
I just got the picture today from my guy that he has a factory in New York.
Sweet.
You heard Top Tier?
Top Tier.
RJ Hall.
Oh yeah, RJ's my guy.
Okay, yeah, he's doing the hoodies.
Come on, man. I told you I network. I know everybody, bro. Yeah, RJ's my guy.
Yeah, he's a basketball player.
Yeah. Bayshore.
Yeah.
Really, you know, it's a touchy subject when it comes to the Bayshore, but Bayshore days. But that's all love. But Tyler Brown,
his cousin, right?
It's his cousin. It's one of my best
small
boys.
World.
Yeah.
So he's doing the hoodies
Good.
and. Yeah, they'll be here Friday. So if you guys want your merch, man, just hit me up and let me know what size you need. But
when RJ watches this, man, I need some of those shorts too. We got some of those cool top tier shorts. I don't know if you saw them, but I'll take a pair of those too, brother.
Yeah.
All love, man. All love.
Yeah, man. Though, but this was a good one.
Appreciate you, bro.
Thank you for coming on,
no
man.
doubt. See, we're gonna look back at this one day when you're on a whole nother level, and you're gonna remember where you were mentally, and you're gonna remember where you were sitting here today, and you're gonna be light years from here and a whole nother level. It's all part of the journey. Embrace the chase, man.
Yeah, man.
And with that, the Journey Podcast. Shout out the Journey Podcast.
All right.
You're gonna have to kick me out of here.